That's not fun. I'm not becoming a singer.
No, you're not. But I mean, you can. So there's not much you can't do, really, is there? But give us a bit of a story, because we were talking earlier, and you was telling me, you gave me an example as to when you were working at another company, and even though you are restricted sometimes with what you're able to do, how you just took the bull by the horns, out of hours, in your own time, to try and help a couple that had been struggling to sell their properties. Just tell me a little bit about that.
I mean, when properties were taken on, I never understood why the staff in the office would never go and make a point of visiting that property before they had a viewing. I made it my personal thing that for every property that came on, I would go and visit them in their time, in my time, not company time, but in my time, so it was relaxed. And I just wanted to talk about how they lived in their home. And there was there's been a few houses in Flitwick that were affected by the same thing, called a train. And this one particular house that I'm thinking of, that I did tell you about, beautiful house, set back off the road. Nevertheless, though, it's the main through road of Flitwick, very busy road. And they felt that they needed to screen their property with big bushes, so you could really see the beauty of the house. And then it was a lovely property, but it was very dated, because, as you know, when people live in their houses for all those years, you know, there's more important things that you're going to do, and this kitchen is fine, it hasn't broken yet, that kind of thing. But it was in good order, but it was, you know, people, whoever bought it would have wanted to have freshened it up. And it had an annex, and annexes can go one or two ways. They can always be quite difficult, or we can see them as a positive and change their use if it's not needed for that purpose. And the problem they had was they had this big road at the front, nice long garden, but sat about, I would have said about 5 metres, 7 metres above ground level. You have this lovely train line. And you could sit there and you could be pruning your bush, and then you look up to your right and all you can see is brake dust coming off of the cargo lorry, a train that's coming past, chung chung chung, everything vibrating. But you know what? People who live in houses in Fleet know there's a train line. And you can hear it. It's like living in Luton. You can hear the airport. One of the things people forget when they're looking anyway is that you are acclimatised to where you live. When you first go out looking for property, you're always thinking of all the negatives, and you think you're never gonna be able to do that. Oh, I can't live with that. Yes, you can. Because someone's lived in that house for a long time. So if they can, you can. And so I thought, right, this property's been on for 4 years.
Wow, 4 years.
4 years it'd been on, and it'd been on with probably nearly every agent in the town and the next town on. So I thought, what am I going to do here? I thought, my challenge is selling that one, because no one wants to go with it like barge pole, because none of my colleagues really wanted to touch it. It'd been there 4 years, everyone was getting despondent. So I went and spoke to them, they're a lovely couple. Mum lived in the annex, and I asked them what they wanted to do, and I had a coffee with them and stuff, and they were saying, well, look, you know, we really want to see our retirement out in the Isle of Wight. The only thing that's stopping us is this house. But we've got to get this money for it. And I said, why? Well, because that's what we were told the value was. I said, but is that... There was a longer conversation. I'm breaking this down because you don't want the video to go on for too long. But once we got to that point, it was a case of, right, okay, so you want to go there. And Mum coming with you? No, Mum's not coming. Why not? Oh, no, she wants to be on the mainland. Okay, fair enough. Don't like water, or just don't like the Isle of Wight? No, she loves the Isle of Wight, don't like water. Wants to stay in the mainland. All right, fair enough then, if she feels comfortable there. So what I want you to do then, when I go, I said, because you've got a lovely garden, you've got all those lovely bits, we don't need to talk about that, we know that. But we need to get something right. And the only two things that's going to work here is getting it priced right, and let the buyers, you know, pretty much find the market for your property. I'm not here to tell you you're going to sell it for this, because I don't know. It's been here for 4 years. But we need to do something different. So I'm going to leave you tonight, and I'm going to give you a couple of days to go over all of your finances, go through everything, and work out what it is the bare minimum that you need. And I'm not going to eat into that. You just need to have it in your head what your actual. Forget what we told you before. I said, because I'm telling you today, we've all lied to you. Not necessarily knowingly, i.e., I never took it on, but everybody followed everyone. Each estate agent told you the same thing just to get you on to see if they could do it.
Yeah.
No one wanted the real conversation with you. So work out what it is you need, then we'll have another conversation. So I put myself in for 2 days' time, went back round there. And we sat there, and I think there was something like a 70 grand difference of where they really, you know, setting aside money to live on, setting aside what they wanted to give family, setting aside all of that. There was about 70k to work with.
Yeah.
I only really needed 15, 20k in my mind. So what I did was when I went back, I said, come on, right, let's make this really, we're gonna reduce this property down quite sufficiently enough to hit those Rightmove have levels at which things go on the market and certain people get kicked in, kicked out, depending on what they're searching for. So we brought that down to a level that would relist it on Rightmove as a new property or an adjusted price.
Yeah.
Get it out in people's face. I already had people that lived around the corner that knew about the train lines, so that weren't really an issue, but it was getting this price right. Did a little bit of research, worked out or found out that the actual road in front, because I wanted to see whether there was anything that was changing in the area.
Yeah.
And as it happened, a fair few months down the road, a new acoustic tarmac was going to go down. It's got little holes in it, and as sound travels, it catches it in the pockets and holds it.
Okay.
So I thought, well, that's good then, because maybe people don't have to have trees in front of their houses, and their house can be shown off, and they can feel like they're part of a street rather than being hidden. And I thought about these people, and I had these people in my head, and another couple in my head. I thought, right, we can do this. And
first, use face recognition to unlock the device.
Is that you?
I don't think we need to do that. Sorry about that, but we'll get back there. I don't know why she's talking to me. She obviously likes my voice, thank you. So that was the thing. The road was going to get changed, and so then in terms of the train weren't, like I said, the train weren't really a problem for me. So what I did was I got a few people. We agreed to change the price, and there was a couple of people that wouldn't look at houses if they had the train line.
Yeah.
Even though they lived in Flick and knew the train line was there, they wouldn't do it. So I'd take people, often, and this comes on to a different story, I'll tell you that another day, but take them around, whatever. Well, this couple said, actually, I'm really interested on being on that street. But the price just seems ridiculous. It's been on there for 4 years. People know. People watch Rightmove. They have Rightmove alerts.
Yeah.
If something's on at a stupid price, people will often say, well, what's wrong? Why ain't it gone?
Yeah.
But we did that, and within 4 days we sold it. And I had something like 30k really to play with, or 70k to play with. 30k was where I kind of really was thinking, might need to go somewhere around that. Did the reduction of about 30k, but you know what, I think it was 20 grand. It was about a 10 grand difference in the end.
Really? Wow.
But it was enough change to tell people they were serious about going.
And create that buyer competition as well.
Create the buyer competition. But actually understanding why these people wanted to move.
Yeah.
But most importantly, being so nosy, understanding why the other people that were going to buy this house wanted to buy it.
Yeah.
And just everything matched. The only thing that put them off was they couldn't afford. They could afford, they didn't want to afford, because they had a little bit of a budget of what they wanted to do to the house, because it needed that modernisation. It was going to cost them 10, 15,000 by the time of what I knew they would want to do. Didn't have to touch a garden.
Yeah.
Spotless. You could live with that. And do you know what? I go past that house now, and you can see it. There's no bushes at the front. The wall is low, and you look at it and you think, what a beautiful house. And it's there, and I think it's the same people there. And they had a baby, and they grew their family in that house. But it was so nice, and as you can probably tell by the video, I've always ate well, and or maybe not ate well, didn't look after myself well, and I've always been a bit of a bigger man, and they bought me a big massive bowl of fruit, and I thought, are you trying to tell me something here? And they said, yes, Mark, but we're really happy with what you did.
Yeah.
And they did that with a bottle of champagne, and they had tears in their eyes as they gave me a card of thank you, and
that's why
the overwhelming warmth that I got knowing that I made that happen. For 4 years, all these other agents did the same old thing. Didn't think outside the box.
That's what's crazy, isn't it? If you keep doing the same thing, you're going to get the same results.
Yeah.
And anybody that thinks any differently,
Absolutely.
it's crazy.
Absolutely.
You've got to make change and do different. But look, I mean, it's been amazing having you in to talk to me. We'll definitely follow your journey, and in a few months' time, as you start to really get going with it all, I'd love to get you back in and talk about where you are with it now.
Definitely.
But how do people get in touch with you then?
Well, hopefully, you are one with tech.
Yeah.
Maybe we're just as bad as each other. But you'll put is it called a link tree?
Linktree, yes.
Linktree. I only found out what one of them was the other day. We'll put that in the post.
Yeah, I'll put it onto the video at the bottom of the video, so that you've got all of Mark's
by
contact
post
details.
I do mean social media, not through the letterbox.
And then obviously the area you're going to focus your attention on is going to be Flitwick.
It's going to be
That's your
Flitwick.
family tech.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. You know, I'm not someone that will just surrounding areas. You know, my life has been in Bedford as well, Kempston, and people know me there, so no doubt I'll be in other areas. And that's the other flexibility bit about it, is that you have got that ability to move. I'm not stuck in an office down a high street.
Yeah.
I've got that flexibility. I can work out my car if I have to. You know, and that's the great nature about it. But no, Flitwick, my granddad did so much there. I have family still living there. I'm partially living with my nan there as well as elsewhere, but going actually full time with my nan, making sure she's got company and she's got help. So why not pick a beautiful area like Flitwick?
Yeah, absolutely. So. Look, thank you again for coming in, and we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Take care.